everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also on BrightShine. Live right here in the city of Memphis, in the county sheriff, in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Monday morning, June the 25th, 2018. Time 5:53 a.m. First, say thank you to all my fans, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. I'll continue to keep myself employed right here in this Memphis tri-state area. I'll continue to further my education at Monroe College Online, pursuing my associate degree studying business administration and concentration mark. At this present time, I've taken a break from going to school, but in the very near future, I will be going back to Monroe College Online. I'm going to continue to pursue my associate degree studying business administration, concentration mark. What I'm doing right now through my Instagram. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also on BrightShine. Live right here in the city of Memphis, in the county sheriff, in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Monday morning, June the 25th. Time 2018. Time is 5:55 a.m. First, say thank you to all my fans, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. Anti-gang. We're going to continue to speak out, continue to complain about the nonsense people saying they're gang pluster, mob pluster, they're boss, they're goon, they're thug, they're pimp, they're whore, they're mac, they're player, they're crook, they're hoodlum. Whatever it is you're saying is a bunch of nonsense. It will be anti-gang demonstration, anti-gang protest. It's a guarantee. I'm going to stand up for my human rights. So the sorority and the fraternity, it's a guarantee. It will be anti-gang demonstration, anti-gang protest. It's a guarantee. These are just some of the few other websites you can go to make anti-gang logos. This year, the International Bill of Human Rights was a name given to the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 217 and 2 international treaties established by the United Nations. It consists of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted in 1948, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, 1966, with its 2 optional protocols, and the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, 1966. This is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. It is an international treaty adopted in 1979 by the United Nations General Assembly, described as an International Bill of Rights for Women. It was instituted on 3rd September 1981 and has been ratified by 189 states. This is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child, sometimes known as the Geneva Declaration of the Rights of the Child. It is an international document promoting child rights, drafted by Eglantine Jebb and adopted by the League of Nations in 1924 and adopted in an extended form by the United Nations in 1959. This day has been adopted as a Universal Children's Day. This is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. It is a human rights treaty which sets out the civil, political, economic, social, health, and cultural rights of children. The convention defines a child as any human being under the age of 18 unless the age of majority is attained earlier under national legislation. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights, 1922. It's founded by some 20 national organizations on the initiative of French and German member organization. It is the first international human rights organization. Its motto is Peace for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and the World Wildlife Fund. And these are the websites you can go to make free anti-gang logos. It will be anti-gang demonstration, anti-gang protest. I'm not going to be on my job. I'm not going to be at work. I'm not going to be in my place of employment. People saying they're a gang pluster, they're a mob pluster, they're a boss, goon, they're a thug, they're a crook, they're a hooligan, they're a Mac, they're a player, and they're a pimp, they're a with all this negative stuff. It will be anti-gang demonstration, anti-gang protest. The sorority and fraternity, that's a guarantee. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna do my Facebook Live. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also on BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis, in the county sheriff, is in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Monday morning, June 25th, 2018. The time is 6:07 a.m. First, say thank you to all my family, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. anti-gang, anti-gang. These are just a few of the websites you can go to make anti-gang logos. Now we was talking about yesterday. We're gonna continue the man-made religious organizations, the Catholic Church, the Protestant Reformation, the American Restoration Movement, and these groups such as the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, all these groups that call themselves the Black Hebrew Israelites, and the Rastafarians. Now, individuals that belong to these different groups, they'll start something like a charitable organization or some type of civic organizations, civil rights and all this, but they still label themselves as up under this title, And matter of fact, we was going over what time is, okay, and we was going over this Wallace Farr Muhammad. Let me get the laptop. So, like I said, we was going over sure. This Wallace D. Farr Muhammad. Say he was born in February 26, 1877. And so, like I said, get the FBI file on the Moorish Science Temple, on the Nation of Islam, on the 5% Nation, on the all these various Black Hebrew Israelites, and the Rastafarians. Get the FBI file, and you can also go outside the country. Other nations, they have information. Get the information on this W. D. Farr Muhammad, and on all these groups. Now these groups, they use Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the holy kiss. The church, suffix es of Christ, salute you. Second Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4, so that we ourselves glory in you in the church with the suffix es of God for your patient faith and all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. Now, there are three places in the Bible that where you see the word Christian. Now, like we've been going over, Father, you know, that word Christian, the way it's understood, you know, people try to make it sound like it's a term of endearment. You know, like it's a title that you can, you know, I'm a Christian and I'm walking this Christian faith and all this, but it's a possibility that it was an insult. It was, you know, something that was said to be offensive. You understand? People when they said it, they were not trying to give you a compliment or being flattery, you know, to flatter you. They was really saying something to insult the followers of Jesus, to offend the followers of Jesus. You know, they were saying something derogatory. They were saying something negative. Now, this is the first place. Now, the second place in the Bible where you see the word Christian is the book of Acts, chapter 28, verse 26. King Agrippa said he was almost persuaded to be a Christian and all that. And then the third place in the Bible where you see the word Christian is 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 16. The Apostle Peter did not tell anybody to be a Christian. He did not tell you to be no Christian. He was telling you, first of all, that I'm the Apostle Peter. You read my epistle. I'm the Apostle Peter, and you read my epistle. And I'm telling you, I'm aware. That's the reason why I mentioned it. I'm telling you, I'm aware of it. I already knew about it. And I'm telling you what to do about it. See, it's nothing for you to be proud about. If anything, you know, somebody lied to you and made a fool out of it. Because they've been telling you to do this, do that, say this and say that. You didn't even know whether it was right or wrong. You were just listening to somebody lying to you, and then you go around lying. Now here it is, I'm the Apostle Peter, you read my epistle. Now you're trying to accuse me of telling you to say you're a Christian. No, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that it's wrong. It's a lie. And that's the reason why you'll be ashamed, because when you remember all the things that you said and done, and the things that you haven't said and done that was right, you would be ashamed. Pray to God. And when you pray to God, thank God for the compassion and mercy and grace that He has given you. Now, and don't forget 2 Peter chapter 3 verses 15, 16, 17, 8. The Apostle Peter exposes Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. He lied. When he said he was an apostle, he was lying. He was lying. Now, this is the start of the end of all that Christian stuff. This is the end of all that Christian stuff. This is the International Bill of Human Rights, was a name given to the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 217 and two international treaties established by the United Nations consist of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted in 1948, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights 1966, with its two optional protocols, and the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights 1966. This is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. It is an international treaty adopted in 1979 by the United Nations General Assembly, described as an International Bill of Rights for Women. It was instituted on 3rd September 1981 and has been ratified by 189 states. This is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child, sometimes known as the Geneva Declaration of the Rights of the Child. Is an international document promoting child rights, drafted by Eglantine Jebb and adopted by the League of Nations in 1924 and adopted in an extended form by the United Nations in 1959. This date has been adopted. This day has been adopted as the Universal Children's Day. This is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. It is a human rights treaty which sets out the civil, political, economic, social, health, and cultural rights of children. The convention defines a child as any human being under the age of 18, unless the age of majority is attained earlier under national legislation. This is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. This is the International Federation for Human Rights. In 1922, it's founded by some 20 national organizations on the initiative of French and German member organizations. It is the first international human rights organization. Its motto is Peace for Human Rights. The world's This is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. Now we know that the German government said to the United States government, anti-gang. That's where it came from. Get my chair adjusted here. That's where it came from. It will be anti-gang demonstration, anti-gang protest. I'm not going to be on my job. I'm not going to be at work. I'm not going to be at my place of employment. People saying they are gang pluster, they are mob pluster, they are boss, they are goon, they are thug, they are crook, they are hoodlum, they are mac, they are player, they are pimp, they are whore, and all the other slang terms that people around the world, use. It will be anti-gang demonstration, anti-gang protest. So the sorority fraternity, don't have no doubt in your mind. It's a guarantee. I will stand up for my human rights. I'm gonna stand up for my human rights. So it's a guarantee. It will be anti-gang demonstration, anti-gang protest. Now, like we was talking about yesterday, the United Nations, is an organization with the intent, to try to have peace on this earth. And we know that there's been and it still is some that still having to be worked on and worked toward. And and some people think they smart. Some people think the criminals, they think they smart. And some people think they so smart they'll try to use the United Nations, like the World Food Program, the World Health Organization. That's why I was, the World Health Organization, the World Food Program. They'll try to use the United Nations, peacekeepers. Oh yeah, the criminals. They are. When you see the United Nations peacekeepers around the world, the criminals, they be watching. They try to monitor the United Nations operations around the world. Oh yeah. See, when you see some of the wars that's going on right now, see, a lot of the criminals, they was watching the United Nations years ago. Korea, Vietnam, and some of the other places around the world. You know, and now you see Syria, Libya, you see Central African Republic, you see Israel and Palestine, the places all over the world. You see the United Nations, peacekeepers, the criminals, they be watching too. You see all these people in the news media going all around the world, video, with the TV camera, news reporters. See, some of these people are criminals. See, there's a lot of criminals, just like I've been saying, the United States military, the Red Cross, the Peace Corps. That's the reason why the United States government have the federal penitentiary. Because some of the people in the United States military, they read what they call Fort Leavenworth. There's a lot of people in the United States military locked up in the federal penitentiary because they were criminals. It's a lot of, including officers who've been discharged, dishonorably discharged. So don't think had this image in your mind that each individual person is above doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? So when we see the United Nations, they talking about building a wall down in we was talking about this yesterday. And it struck me that people, when you hear people say things, and even African Americans, sometimes I just haven't been online, like I was saying yesterday about the wall, and sometimes African Americans will say some things that just completely just blew my, you'd be shocked. You'd be like, I don't know why this person saying, and that what got my attention. Even some of the African Americans call themselves wanting to support building a wall to keep the Mexicans out. And I just had to, I had to just say what I had to say. You're not gonna talk to me about building a wall to keep the Mexicans out, or keep the refugees out, because I know that there are many people, not just the Mexican people, come from Central America and South America, even including the Caribbean, to come to America. They'll come through Mexico. But we don't have nobody saying about building a wall in Canada to keep the Canadians out. So whatever, the issues, the problems, Mexico, Central America, South America, if you have a crime problem, you having a problem with school, not enough schools, or the schools, you may have enough schools, but schools might not be quality or up to date. You understand? The education is not a quality education, and not enough jobs for people when they graduate school. You understand? So that can be, it's important that you understand the causes of all this. If you don't talk about the causes of all this, when you see Israel and Palestine, we got to go all the way back in history. But it's important, no matter how far you got to go back, to get to the root causes of what the problem is today. When you see the Central African Republic, you got to get to the root causes of the problem. You ain't gonna never be able to solve anything until you get to the root. What's the cause of all the the animosity, all this war being fought in the Central African Republic, what's causing all the problems all around the world. Now we having this problem in Myanmar. The people have been kicked out. Been kicked out. And talking about going back. See, when you do things like that, see, it be now the people mad. And see, if you talk about going back, the only thing that's gonna happen is gonna be a civil war. That's the only thing gonna be, because when you do things like that, it's gonna be civil war. That's the only thing gonna be. It's gonna be civil war. And so, to prevent something like that from happening, now the United Nations gonna have to build a big refugee camp, use land. And see, that's another thing. You know, you can't expect the United Nations to support all of these refugees around the world, and then there's a possibility of still more conflict around the world, and you expect the United Nations to support all the refugees around, and then all the land gonna be used just to build refugee camps. Come on now, you can't. That type of mentality. See, that's where all that talking about building a wall. You got to get to the root of the root causes of all this, and try to bring a sensible solution to the table. Just going around talking about you gonna support President Trump or talking about building a wall. That the only thing that's gonna create is a whole lot of confusion. You still, instead of trying to come to the table with some sensible solution, and people coming to the table to talk, only thing they gonna do is yell at each other and not gonna solve anything. Nobody's trying to solve anything. They just yelling at each other and just talking bad to each other, and that's not gonna solve anything. So come to the table with some sensible solutions, or keep your mouth closed. Simple as that. If you don't have anything constructive to say, keep your mouth closed. Simple as that. Keep your mouth closed. Now, we're gonna go to the dictionary. third New International Dictionary of the complete and total definition of the word gang. The act, manner, means of going. This is mobile. This is mob. The stupid sorority, the stupid fraternity, this sister. This brother. This is Oxford English Dictionary, the complete total definition of the word gang, action or mode of going, way, passing, a set of things or person. This is mobile and mob. The stupid sorority and the stupid fraternity. Now, as you know, African traditional religion is being taught at colleges and universities in sub-Saharan Africa. You can earn a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD studying African traditional religion. Now, one of the books we're going to continue to read and refer to is titled West African Traditional Religion, written by Dr. Joseph Obasene Walelu and Dr. P. Adalumo Depemu. Another book we're going to continue to read referred to is titled African Traditional Religion and Definition, written by Dr. E. Baloja Adogu. Another book we're going to read referred to is titled African Religions and Philosophy, written by Dr. John S. M. Beatty. Another book we're going to continue to read referred to the title Concepts of God in Africa, written by Dr. John S. M. Beatty. Now, examples of schools in sub-Saharan Africa that teach African traditional religion. Dr. Joseph Obasene Walelu, PhD, Abadan, Senior Lecturer, African Traditional Religion, Department of Religious Studies, University of Ibadan, Ibadan, Nigeria. Dr. P. Adalumo Depemu, PhD, Ibadan, Department of Religious Studies, University of Ilorin, Nigeria. Dr. E. Baloja Adogu, Professor of Religious Studies, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. Dr. John S. M. Bida was born in Kenya, and he studied at Makerere University College in Uganda. Now I'm going to get ready to end today's video. And also remember, the United Nations said to every human being on this earth, environmental rights is a human right. Environmental rights is a human right. Environmental rights is a human right. Now I know I'm kind of in a rush today. I didn't get up and do my video. Well, because, like I said, it was a storm, a rainstorm, thunder and lightning. And it was, it was a pretty bad storm, knocked the power, the power went out. And when I went outside, tree limbs, it broke trees and limbs all out in the street, and debris all out in the street. But as you can see, the power has come back on, and getting back to a little normal, back to our normal living. But like I say, I still want to do my video, and so but being realistic, I know I had some things I had to do Sunday, so I just went on, got me some rest, but I still did my video. But I'm gonna come back and gonna continue to do my video, and now these are websites you can go to make anti-gang logos. Now, again, my name is Eric D. Johnson. I also know BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis. It's in the county sheriffs in the state of Tennessee. I thank all my fans, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. And put God first. Take care of yourself. Wish each and every one of you the very best.